So for a while, I was really into photography and video. I was kind of doing what the team's doing right here, filming and getting into creating content for social media. I thought social media was the coolest thing because for me, that's a bit more introverted. Networking online made a lot of sense to me. And not only with social media, but like the main ones are Instagram, Facebook, but there's also ones like LinkedIn, Clubhouse, these other platforms where just because they're not the most popular one doesn't mean they're not the right one for you. And so as I started getting into content and learning about the different platforms, a lot of people had no idea what to do with the video. They posted it on their website, maybe they posted it on their landing page or their Facebook page, but beyond that, it was pretty much, didn't really much happen with it. The content didn't really convert. It wasn't set up in a way for it to bring in business. It was more so, I see people making content, so I need to make content to also be doing well. And that's when I really dove into this marketing aspect. I wanted to understand, I thought business owners knew what they were doing when they had, like, I'm just naive, I'm making videos, I'm like, oh yeah, you got the commercial, here you go, make it, make money. And then I don't hear from them again. I'm like, well, what happened? And so I really started going down the path of really understanding marketing, paid advertising, learning analytics, because what the numbers say is usually the right answer. Dealt with so many clients where you can feel a certain way about results, but at the end of the day, you need to know your results. And so with content, it's a little tricky because how can you create something that also ties in the numbers and ties in results? And so I really went down that path, getting into Instagram big time when it first took off with the influencers. At that point, I know it's super shunned on now, but you could buy followers, buy likes, and it would make revenue like crazy. Businesses would just blow up overnight because of this new platform. And so after doing that for a bit, I found out that Instagram didn't like that so much. And so my business got shut down. I wasn't able to buy these followers and build all these crazy, back-end hacks. And I took a step back and really wanted to build marketing for a company and be a part of it. Like really try to see if I can build something from the ground up. And so at that time, it was around the beginning of 2019, Airbnb was kind of this new concept. It was still been around for a while, but the whole content idea around traveling, taking photos and visiting new places to eat, new places to see, I thought it'd be cool to get into. And so I went to my first networking event ever. At this time I was super anxious dude. I didn't even talk to people. And I went in and I thought, these people don't really know what they're doing either. And so I was like, I started talking to a few people and one of them, these two young guys, one was 21, one was 20, they came down here from Canada to get into Airbnb. And so I was like, all right, I can video you guys. I can be like, at that time I idolized Gary Vee. He had this guy whose name's D-Rock, and I'm Derek, my nickname was D-Rock. I'm like, yo, let me be the D-Rock to the Canadian D-Rock. And so it was really cool because one, I was getting to actually be involved in someone's marketing process and really dial in, how are we branding ourselves, not just as people that are making moves in the real estate industry, but we're also creating a course and educating people on how to also learn how to do this. So it was kind of this two-sided coin that I was really learning a lot about. And it just so happened one of the main guys from Canada couldn't handle the pressure of entrepreneurship. He was a little, just stressed out. Because when you first start anything, you don't know how it's going to work, and the results aren't guaranteed. And especially with social media, you don't know if people are going to listen or not. And sometimes that silence can really challenge a lot of people's motivation to continue.
I know. We all could probably.
And so it's that gut feeling. You wake up, sometimes you're like, man, I'm posting content for weeks, months. I'm doing these moves. I'm making big things happen. Does anyone care? And so through that process, one of the guys dropped out. I took over his role of the systems guy. So he was in charge of making sure once we got the properties, everything was managed turnkey so that we could keep scaling. And that was probably my favorite job ever. Because for me, it took me about 6 months and we got around 50 properties in 3 countries and it was completely automated. So I could literally wake up, not have to do anything the whole week, maybe I check in for an hour with my team of VAs to see if they were operating the Airbnbs the right way. That was it. And so that was my first taste of like passive income, where you work hard enough, you can build this automated system to where now I really had a platform I could just create content with. My business partner, who was all about acquiring, he was that guy that would wear the hats, kind of like Robin, all dressed up nice, and you know, the content guy is like, yo, let's go party, let's go do business, you know, kind of like Robin. So that process went really well until COVID hit. And so I was about to move to Costa Rica. We got a hotel there where we were setting up all the properties. I was going to go in with the content game strong. And then, when COVID happened, they shut down the border to Costa Rica. My business partner took the last flight out to Canada, and our business froze once again. That whole situation where you think everything's starting to move forward, everything's going, you're finally getting control. You're getting, we had a lot of people learning from us, especially in Canada. We had a lot of countries or cities I've never been to where I was helping people set up Airbnbs in their own hometown. And that was a huge mental shift for me, because I kind of sat back and was really thinking, okay, I've had some experience now getting my foot in the door with content. I've made some money helping people buy followers online. And then I actually did something legit. We're building a course, building a program, building a business of hospitality, having people travel around the world and enjoy the locations they go to. That's more external, I felt like. It was all these external things. What do I really want? What's the more internal thing that I'm after? And I kind of came back all the way back to what content really is how can these people that create content, usually personal brands, people that have a small business that are constantly putting content out there, how can they use the knowledge that I've gained through systems and through meeting these higher level marketers, how can they also thrive with marketing themselves online? And so I met up with my good friend, Josh. He is super spiritual, chill dude. Like, this guy is just a magnet for good people. And he had a business with no systems, no processes, but none of the clients left, because they asked him, like, how do you have such a good retention rate? It's like, well, I show up to their Christmas, I show up to their birthdays. I'm like, marketing ROI, what? Is that not on the table? So we joined forces, and it's been really cool, because for him, he loves dealing with, I do too, but dealing with really good people that really want to make a positive impact on the world. And for me, I really love building the systems behind that. I want to make the platform for these amazing people to stand on and not have to worry about every time they scale and they get 5 more clients, I have to redo my entire business, or I have to restructure my entire ordeal. Or now that I'm doing XYZ revenue, does that mean I have to start running ads? And now who do I talk to for that? And it's a lot of, for them, challenges that I love to take on. And then on the reverse side, a lot of you guys have that strong vision. Lucky you. Like, for me, I'm more into solving the situation, figuring out how we can map it out, really dial in the process. But it's a really 1-2, I think, process. Like working with Robin, you have a lot of ideas, but a lot of ideas, what's that? What happens, right? We want execution. And so this last year, I partnered up with him and really took on clients, kind of like Robin, kind of like people that are really wanting to make an impact online, help them not only market, because that's, I am a marketing agency owner, but more so beyond that, have the systems in place to where they can work more on what they love to do and not so much be stressed out on the administrative stuff, the stuff online that can be outsourced, can be delegated, can be automated. And that brings me to kind of where today, where now I've worked with some really cool people, got some really good results. I love the ability to, really go hard on Facebook and Instagram advertising and really get a ton of people to see the content, but then also make sure that those eyeballs convert. And so my experience over the last, I would say, few years in that arena has really allowed me to get a good understanding, and not only that, how to communicate it to more visionary types. And so, I would definitely, want to know more about where you guys are at with your business and where you guys are feeling that stress, that uncertainty, to just ask, questions that I could answer from a systems guy, from someone that works with Robin and works with other people that have had success building those things.
So something he has helped me tremendously with is, for me personally, and some of you, this may apply as well. So my Instagram is my Instagram. It's my balance between my personal and my professional. I do a lot of personal on my Instagram, but I also use 20% of that opportunity to promote myself and my services and my events and whatnot. My Facebook personal is more friends and family, but my Facebook group is my community of people who want to hear what I have to say, who tune into my Tune In Tuesdays, who want to be updated on things and want to be updated on trends. But LinkedIn is where I sell, believe it or not. And what he's helped me tremendously with is the automation of setting up connection calls. So I don't know if you guys, how many of you are familiar with LinkedIn Sales, which is a separate platform from LinkedIn? Are you guys, nobody's familiar with that? So LinkedIn Sales is something, I think it's maybe $70, $80 a month.
Yeah, so who has used LinkedIn? Has anyone actually used LinkedIn itself? So the benefit of LinkedIn is that it's a social media platform where people are there present to network and connect with other business owners, anyone in the business space, or anyone in the professional space more so, I should say. And so anyone that's a professional that's on LinkedIn, especially now at the time where COVID has caused a lot of these events to really dwindle down, creating that connection is something that people really want. And with LinkedIn, that's what it's meant for. Like for one of the things that, for me at least, as an agency owner doing marketing on advertising with Facebook, Google, my clientele isn't necessarily on the other side of a Facebook ad. They're more the business professional. So for me, what I do for my clients' marketing isn't necessarily the same thing that I would do to market myself. And so I had to figure out a way, well, how can I talk to the people that, these people that want to make impact, have good ideals, that want to be able to build their business online? How can I get conversations? And with LinkedIn, it's actually pretty easy. What a lot of people do on LinkedIn is they see these messages come in like every day. I don't know how many people check LinkedIn often, but you'll see these spam messages like, hello, my name is Derek, and I blah, 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 have done XYZ. I think your business could go all the way to the top, like some sales pitch, and that's not how LinkedIn works. And so what we do is we set it up in a way where, like for Robin, for example, we can look up exactly who we want to target on LinkedIn. They could be, the seniority level, how big the company size is, what their exact job is, where they're located. All that information, we can create a list of people we can see together and look at thousands of ideal.
It's like 1,500, right?
Yeah,
you get 1,500. You get basically 1,500 leads within your direct market. So it's almost like micro-targeting.
Yeah, and then what we do is just reach out to them with a simple message. The message isn't talking about really what we do, but more so creating common ground. Like, hey, I noticed you're also in XYZ space. I'd love to hop on a call and run some things by you that I'm working on.
Or like what I say is, I would love to learn more about your business. Like, I love what you do. I would love to learn more about your business. Let me know if you're interested in connecting on a 20-minute or I don't even put complimentary, but a 20-minute connection call. So once I connect with somebody, he set me up so that it's automated so that they automatically get a message. So I connect with them, they automatically get a message. If they ignore me, there's a follow-up message for that. And then I create it, if they say, yeah, let's do it, let's go for it, he's created a follow-up message for that. Or no, leave me alone, there's a follow-up message for that. So I don't have to do any of it or touch any of it. We communicate on a separate app, which is Slack, and I get updated. And then if there's, something that I do need to address, I just plug it in and it's sent for me. So it's been a lifesaver so that I could scale in other areas. So for example, I set up those 20-minute connection calls. I had 7 in one day one time. Mm-hmm. So I had 7 connection calls, and those people that I connect with, I learn about their business. Now for me, I connect with a lot of people in the wellness and the real estate world. So for me, I, get to know them. We get to know each other. We follow each other. But from there, they either go into my Facebook group and get to know me even more, or they sign up for my experience, which is the goal. So I'm selling them on my Meraki experience. And I know that if I get at least 10, I've already paid for all that automation, which has been working. It's great. I love it. I've connected with some really great people. So that, from him alone, I've been like hanging by his ankle, like, what next?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, LinkedIn, I mean, that's everyone forgets sometimes. You don't go to a network event and just pull out a flyer and say, hey, this is my special right now. Mm-hmm. Do you want to buy? You get to know the person. And I think even if your business isn't necessarily needing a lot of leads or like you're not lead-based business, it's still so powerful to connect with other people. Indirect marketing is what I call it, but connect with other people that might help you in your journey in what you're working on. So it might be someone that owns a podcast. Maybe we can target a bunch of podcast hosts, or we can reach out to people that throw events. LinkedIn is a platform where you can just have a consistent amount of predictable conversations take hold. And for me, I have stuck primarily to just LinkedIn and referral, and that's been able to build my business pretty well. Now I'm at a point where I don't really do outreach directly to look for clients. I do more so to meet really cool people that have really cool things going on, and those conversations can just lead to who knows what opportunity, because opportunity just doesn't come across your feed anymore. You have to really take action to get a conversation going. Like with Robin, she messaged me on Instagram.
You messaged me first, by the way. Just saying, we're gonna solve this today. We keep going back and forth. I'm like, but you messaged me first.
Yeah, whatever.
We're gonna figure that one out today.
She deleted it, so we can't even find out.
Didn't.
Just that part. But yeah, it's very powerful. That's one of the biggest, I think, untapped platforms right now is Instagram and Facebook are obviously at the top, but for LinkedIn.
Connection, yeah. I mean, just Friday, for example, last week, I connected with a woman who started a recruiting company, almost quit probably about 10 times, and she just sold for her business for $50 million. And she said to me, she said, I don't need money, but I'm not going to go play tennis all day. That's not my style. But I want to help women, woman-owned business and, woman and ethic-owned business. And that's her mission. She wants to work one-on-one with these people. She doesn't even want to get paid. I mean, I was like, what? I know, right? We're gonna meet with her this week. So she's gonna be part of our community. So I'm gonna bring her in, and she's great. And she used to speak, and she used to do all of these things, but she's very honed in now, and it was a blessing just that. I was like, I think I manifested you. I was like crying by the end of the call, but yeah. So you never know. So that connection and that networking, and now, I mean, I feel like there's so many courses and there's so many programs. If you're not getting that experience and that live experience in person, then I feel like you're just part of, the herd.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few clients that are doing obviously Facebook and Google advertising, and they're doing, $500,000 a month on their courses, but they still, as the owner, hop on these calls, like I would say, at least maybe 4 or 5 a week, just so that they can always talk to their community and get insight on their prospects, get insight on the what's happening in their world. Because one client that I had, he just discovered that the newest thing people are wanting is a more hybrid approach of what service providers offer. So like people that are creating a course on how to build a funnel or how to build a landing page, instead of them just either doing it all for you or teaching you, people are wanting more like, hey, do some of it for me, but also teach me the other part. That was something we discovered. He changed his messaging, launched it, and then we closed like 5 people off the LinkedIn messaging in a week. And that was a $15,000 package. So LinkedIn is something that I really love to test your message on, because how many times do we have the ability to go up and say, hey, this is what I do, this is what I deliver, these are, people can ask questions on it. That doesn't happen enough, I feel like, especially with, yeah.
Hi, I'm Kim, by the way.
Hey.
Could you give like an example of how you would use your LinkedIn message to, like, for a realtor? We're vacation homes down here at the shore. Have you done anything like specifically?
So the realtors, I think it was more so finding, realtors work with different people, right, to make a deal happen. Who are the other two? It's the mortgage, the title,
and
mortgage. So what I had done before with realtors is have them get connected with all of those type of people. And so that's been pretty helpful, because if they have build a strong relationship with these people, then they can kind of pipeline you leads. And so, that's a really good approach. Also, I think for that, it's kind of tricky, because how can a realtor, it's like talking to more consumer and LinkedIn's more business to business. So I think maybe the other thing you could think of is who you target. Try to think, who's the person that knows your person, right? And so maybe it could be someone that has like a travel podcast, or maybe it's someone that has a a YouTube channel or someone, any type of content creator that you can get connection or relationship with, and then you can, collaborate. Collaboration, I think, is one of the greatest things that can help you build your business. And so if you can collaborate as much as possible, well, now you're getting your name out there way more. And when your name's out there way more and your social media is lined up the right way, you're going to get a lot more people messaging you, asking you for advice. Yeah. So it's, yeah.
Hi, Marina. On that too, do you feel like there's as much benefit for using LinkedIn for an actual like brick and mortar office? So, finding the conversion factor of eyes into in-person clients or patients?
Well, what exactly is the business?
I'm sorry.
Chiropractor.
Can you just repeat the question for?
Yeah, so the question was, I have a brick and mortar business. Is LinkedIn worthwhile for me? I would say not necessarily. I mean, it would be kind of the same thing as the realtor deal. It's like, who could you find that could also maybe expand your marketing with, like you could collaborate with? But so chiropractic, I think I did this with one person that was had like a, during COVID, obviously there was a huge issue with helping patients. And so I told her, like, look, this would be a grand slam for LinkedIn outreach, is look for businesses that want to have online workshops, because now most corporate companies have these in-person events all the time, like throughout the month. And so with COVID, can we bring that to having them online? And one of the things that she said, I was like, hey, could you do a 30-minute Zoom where you do some self-healing, I can't remember the exact terms. It's something to do with she had some way where you're sitting in the chair all the time. Here's some exercises you can do to really feel better and be more productive. And then after that, she would kind of meet all these people on the Zoom, and then she would funnel them in and say, okay, afterwards, if you want more one-on-one sessions, or if you have any painstaking questions, let me know. And so you can definitely go the corporate route and kind of repackage, because just because what you do as a product, what you do as a service, you can rewrap it to different audiences. It doesn't have to always, you don't have to always be the chiropractor that you come to. It can be also you can get creative with it. Mm-hmm. And so
just to tune into that is, if you were to say offer a 20-minute self-massage tutorial or something, you know what I mean? And you were to offer that to people that sit in their desk primarily, because I know a lot of my desk friends are they hurt. And you could also demographically target that. So you can do within this area. You can do that on LinkedIn, that's correct? Yeah. So you can do that within that area, and you could go on LinkedIn Sales, shoot it out to however many people, and say, love what you do, would love to connect you. If you ever want to get a 20-minute self-massage, blah, 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 here's my Calendly link. So they book it. You could book up your Calendly link. You're offering them the 20-minute. You know that they live in this area. They've now been introduced to you. They know your value and how much you know, because you know you do. And now when they're coming to Avalon, they'll book. Or when they're in this area, they know you're in this area, they'll rebook. So that's just my thought around that. But the good thing, you do have a Calendly link, correct?
What?
A Calendly link? So, well, that's what maybe you want to talk to him about later, because what he's also automated for me is once, I'm on LinkedIn Sales, that's automated. My Calendly link is automated, which is automated to my calendar.
It's a booking tool. So if someone wants to book a time with you,
I don't have
then
to do anything. So it's automated to my Zoom. I look at my calendar the day of, I have 4 calls. I go on I use Acuity, not Calendly. I know. I like the beta apps, which are in beta, but I know. So anyway, I go right into my calendar, I click on it, the Zoom is there, and I pop on. I literally don't do anything leading up to that connection call. It's great. Thanks, man.
That's the point.
So, but we could talk, I would like to talk a little bit too now about the social ads and the retargeting and then the different ad sets.
Yeah. So I think anyone starting online, like LinkedIn, I think is the first place to start, because it's easy to get conversations going and you get to really understand your audience. But for most businesses, like if you're a realtor or if you're a chiropractor, you're going to want to market to the consumer. And so with that, people get really confused with how Facebook ads work and how Instagram ads work. People, they think it's it's simple, but complex because a lot of time we think we watch a couple videos on YouTube. It says, hey, I'm going to pay Facebook. Every time someone purchases, I'm going to pay them X amount. Like, that's what I want you to do, Facebook. And you pay Facebook to do that, and you do get some results. People come in, they might purchase, out of 100, maybe 5 buy. So that's the normal flow of how Facebook advertising usually works. But that's actually not the right way to do it because we think, okay, awesome, we got 5% of the people to convert, but what about the extra 95%? We just spent money because we're not paying per purchase, we're paying so that X 100 people see the ad. We paid for every single person to see that ad. 5 of them clicked and purchased, awesome, but what about that extra 95%? And so what Facebook really wants you to focus on is having more of a funnel, which I know funnel, it's like, whoa, it's really simple. Facebook doesn't want you to sell people that if they don't know who you are, they don't want you trying to tell them to purchase something. They're going to charge you a lot more money. The conversion costs are going to be through the roof. And even then, you might not even see any results because there's so much noise on the Facebook and social and Instagram feed. So the actual way to do it is this. Before you sell anything, you got to first get people to know who you are. And that's through engagement. People love to scroll and engage on social media. And there are ads you can buy that tell Facebook, hey, I want to pay people that are just like this target audience, and I want them to like my stuff, share it, comment on it. I only want the people that really want to engage with what I'm talking about. And so that's the first step, is getting people to like you. And this content, like Robin does a really good job. A lot of her content you see is more her, like when I think, oh, let me think back to a few pieces of content Robin's done, I think to the funny ones, like you do the TikTok video, you do the,
That's like my personality, yeah.
I remember those. And so whenever I come across Robin again on the feed, if I was a consumer, I'd be like, oh, that girl's hilarious. What else is she up to? And so you almost want to make it to where people want to ask, what do they do? I kind of want to work with this person. That's the very first step with advertising. And it's actually the most cost-effective method because when you run ads, you can get people to watch like a full video of you talking for less than 1/10 of a penny. And so paying, a couple $100 a month and you have potentially millions of eyeballs on you, that's so much more affordable. And with what Robin was mentioning earlier, retargeting, which is I think the final topic that I'll talk about that's on Facebook ads, is every single person that watches that video, Facebook automatically puts them down as, hey, this person watched 75% of your video, or this person watched 100% of your video. We're going to put them in a list of all people that have done just that. And then we can pay Facebook to say, hey, now that you've done that, I want to spend some money on getting people to buy my product, but I'm not going to tell you to target this audience online that has no idea who I am. I'm going to pay you to target that list that we made together. And then Facebook's like, oh, you helped me make this list of people by having them watch your video? Perfect, I'm going to give you a huge discount. And now the price lowers immensely for the ad. So now you're paying, instead of let's say 15, 20, $25 for someone to buy your product, now you can pay $2, $3 for a conversion. Because those people already know who you are. You're telling Facebook, hey, I only want you to show this ad to those people that we worked on together to make. And now Facebook is going to be like, well, that's a no-brainer. If they know you and like you, they'll probably want to move forward and buy from you. And it can maybe not just be purchasing, but also opting in. A lot of people like to come up with a free offer, something that allows them to spend a little bit more time with you. Robin has that event that she has where the experience.
Yeah.
So you have the Facebook group, which is free, and that's what we want people to opt into, because now the second phase comes in. Now that they like Robin, they see her social media, they're like, this girl's hilarious, what the hell does she do? The next thing is, can I trust her to do business with her? And so trust is phase 2. And trust is where you start to really put out longer content. You want to put out more ways for them to spend time with you. I think the average ideal time is 7 hours before someone makes a purchase. They want to at least have 7 hours of time with you before they buy. And so that can be for Robin, she goes live on Tuesdays with the Facebook group. She lets them opt in. She can have content people can engage on. She's creating a community that people can then realize and trust that Robin isn't just someone on Instagram that posts funny videos. Now she's someone that actually has a vision, has a mission. They learn more about her. They learn about what she's into. They also learn about what her brand is into and what everyone on the community is trying to do. That's phase 2, which is amazing because
Sorry, not to
Yeah, go ahead.
But just from a marketing standpoint, and the back end of that is the know, like, trust method. You guys all probably know that. But the second aspect that he's talking about is top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. So where we're at now is the middle of the funnel with the know, like, trust concept. So
yeah, because all the funnel is basically everyone at the top being captured.
Yeah.
It filters them out to the middle of funnel where, who is this Robin lady?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of trusting her. And then you bring them down the sweet spot where they're like, this is a no-brainer. How can I work with her? And that's what happens. So after they spend time with you and they spend time learning about you and everything, now the next question that kind of comes into their mind is, well, how can I work with you? Like, how will this work for me? I've seen it work for what you do and all these awesome testimonials and awesome things, but how will it work for me? And that's when you start to run ads and content that are testimonials, that are case studies, that are directly having them purchase your product or service. Now we're at a point where not only did we tell Facebook, hey, here's a list of the people that have seen my videos on social media, they love me, now let's dwindle them down. Now they've seen all my videos for 7+ hours. Now I have this really, really refined list. Here you go, Facebook, just target just these people that are ready to buy. And my ad, like when all my clients, like we run maybe $2 to $5 a day on those ads, and it hits every single person in their list. And now we can get, let's say, if the product's $1,500 and we get 10 sales in a day, what's that? 15,000 off of spending $5. And so that's how we're able to get those crazy ROI numbers, because we played the funnel game that Facebook wants you to play, because it helps them. Their systems are going crazy. There's so much feed and noise on the Instagram and Facebook feeds. I mean, it's competitive, especially today. Like, everyone's creating content. It's no longer get in. It's like you're either in or you're in. And so now, how can we really get to that where we want to be on the feed of who we want to see that post? That process, that funnel allows us to do that. And that's how a lot of the companies I worked with, they kind of get stuck around the 6-figure range, and to go to 7 figures, dialing in their systems a bit and switching over to that funnel of, getting people to like, trust, and then, buy. That's where we've seen them surpass the 7 figures mark, be able to not only bring up revenue, but make better profit, because now they're spending way less money on ads, they're making way more money on revenue, and now scalability is going to be so much easier. So that's kind of the flow of how Facebook ads works.
So I have a question. So as far as the actual, the best type of top of funnel, like to get to know you type of ads would be, so examples for that, for example, is you could go live, and he had mentioned this to me once, you could advertise a live video, only on Facebook though. You can't do it on Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
So say I were to go live on Facebook, I could run the ad at the same time that I'm going live.
Yeah.
So with that, but can I do that with a group?
I don't think so.
Like, can I run ads on my Tune In Tuesday? No.
No.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. But the whole point is that, yeah. The whole point of Facebook Live is a really awesome tool. I know everyone likes to use IG or Instagram, but Facebook Live on your business page has a really cool benefit of where you can actually run ads to the live forever. And so we can even have like a $1 a day put towards a live video, where maybe it was a 10, 15-minute video of you getting interviewed or you talking about a topic. And when it runs as a live ad, people will be scrolling on their feed and they'll see it as if it was live. And so they'll scroll by and they'll see, oh, this person's going live. And Facebook wants you to use that tool, because that means you're being stuck to their page. And so for lives, you can get a really good cost for people to watch that video, and they're going to be longer. So people usually stick around for lives. They like to watch what's going on, and they can comment, they can like, they can, lives are meant to be kind of a community thing. And so that's a really powerful way to build that middle of funnel, that trust, is now they can spend 15, 20 minutes with you throughout the week. They see these random clips come up, and they don't have to worry about them being live there at that time. So sometimes, there's been lives where maybe a few people are on, but when we run them as an ad, now it starts to build up all these comments, all these likes, and when people come across it a few months later, this live that has been slowly building, there's like hundreds of comments, all thousands and thousands of likes, and you're like, wow, this person is something. Yeah. You start to realize, I like this person, they seem legit. And that's the power of lives. And they're so easy to make. So you don't have to have a crazy production to do a live because people are expecting them to be kind of informal.
Organic, yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as also top of funnel examples would be quizzes. People love quizzes.
Anything that you can say, like comment below or comment what your thoughts are. You want to create engagement. So like this if you agree. Yeah.
Oh no. Can you do ads on past videos?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So what I usually do when I start with a client is I go through all of their videos. I tag them so Facebook can track all the people that have watched those videos. So that's historical. So and as soon as you set that up, you can automatically have a list of people that have watched your content, who viewed your page. And I can take that list and then put that on for new content that posts. So every time, like let's say Robin posts something new and it gets a lot of views, I take that piece of content and I send ad traffic to it. So you don't necessarily have to create a new piece of ad. You don't have to create a new ad. You can run advertising straight to your organic posts that you post every day. And you can just put $1 a day towards your target audience, and now your engagement's going way up. People that, like for real estate, for example, if you want the specific type of people that are looking for homes to look at your content, don't try to push them towards calling you. Just push them towards engaging in fun content, and they just happen to be like, oh wow, I really like this person's funny videos, or like, I like this person, they have this dog I really relate to. Like I have a Frenchie, and I get more comments on that Frenchie than any other post I do. But now people remember, you're like, oh, how's the Frenchie doing? Hey, can you help me with marketing? Like, that's just how it works. And so it's really important to put money towards your past videos, your current videos, and the videos you're going to do in the future.
So if you have, say last year, I was at a property and I did a video live, just kind of random. You're saying now I can advertise that same video?
Yep. So people are scrolling through their phone, and it could be like you were live doing it. And so then people see it. It's just another way for them to spend time with you. And then they see it, they might click on your profile and look more about you. Maybe they like the video, but that like or that follow traps them in the net, and now you can retarget them.
Depending on how long you're there for the property, you know, a few people pop on and you know, maybe it could be 10 people, then it could be 50 people, it could be 3 people. But then I noticed later that people are still watching it, and now it's gone up to like, you know, whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, so live is, I think, the best. Stories are also really good as well. You can run ads as stories. I like to keep it simple, though. I think the easiest way to get started is what you currently are posting. Run that as ads to your target audience. That Facebook makes it really easy to click, I want to target people that are in this area, this age, that are into these type of interests. You just create that list, and you run all the content you post every day. Just update it. Get rid of the old content that you don't want to run, don't want to pay money for. Put the new ones, put a few dollars towards it. And now you have this flow of content where now, instead of you sitting there crying, man, Instagram's organic is just every year it goes down and down. I have no more views. I used to be this person, now I'm not. It's just too noisy. Even if you were big before, it's not like that anymore. You got to put money behind, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money. Even a few bucks a day for top of funnel. I usually like to do, for bigger, even $1,000 a month, just towards top of funnel, could drive in enough business to have it pay for itself. And so that's what I always start off with clients is, let's put $1,000 a month towards top of funnel. I can put $5 a day towards people converting that I've already watched the amount of video views or liked my page. Just target those people. Just that 2 ads, I'm able to get sales. And so from there, now that I'm getting sales, how can I improve the flow? Let's add some longer content in the middle so they can spend more time with me. That'll lower the price Facebook charges me because now if I did more work than they did, and I'm going to have a bigger wide net of people to target. So that's really the start.
So what is the middle going to look like?
The middle is long content. So anything 10 minutes more. People want to they're at this point now where they're coming across your feed and wanting to actually listen to you. Like a 1-minute video, you can't really get to know someone. And so when you have maybe like an interview or a clip of people asking you different questions, maybe it's a live where you sit down and you ask each other questions. That
Educational content.
kind of like you think what a podcast would be, where you get to sit down and, okay, what's this person value in life? Like that type of content in a 15-minute time frame can help immensely improve conversions, because now these people actually relate with you at a deeper level than just thinking that you're a cool person.
And then your bottom of your funnel would be your actual offer,
Yeah.
which would be, learn more, tap here to learn more, and it would be
So everyone usually says just run that bottom of funnel is what people are advertising as. That's the way to do advertising. You take that and that's all you run from people that don't know about you to buying. We want to take that and put it at the very bottom, bring the cost way down, and actually show the ad to people actually wanting to buy it. Because when you're scrolling and you see advertisements like, who is this guy? Who is this girl? I don't even know her. Why is she trying to sell me this new get rich quick thing? Like, I don't even know what she's talking about. But then if I'm spent hours with Robin and she's talking about this of, hey, I'm hosting this event. Maybe people are unsure about this, incorporating consciousness into creating content. And you maybe are a little unsure if you want to go full into a program. I have a one-day event. Just show up. It's X amount of money, blah, blah, blah. They take it to the landing page. It tells them some case studies, testimonials of people that have gone to the event. For me, that have spent hours listening to her, I'm like, you know what? That's an easy way in. I can spend a few hours with her, see if she can actually help me. It's kind of like a first date. Like, you don't want to get married with someone if you don't really know them. And so, yeah.
Going back to the real estate thing, him and I work, my name's Amanda, we work in the same real estate industry. We're not necessarily we want people to buy properties from us, but we really want people to list with us. So we want people to, what are they buying, like what is our,
I could tune in on that.
Tune
So
in on
I've
it.
had
Like,
some
what are we
visionary.
trying to get across? Like I know they need to trust us and want to know who we are and who they're getting to list their home, show their home, and do all these things with. But at the same time, like we're not necessarily a click. Like I don't know what we're
So I feel
asking them to click for. Like Right.
I feel as though your content, like Kim, you're a Zumba instructor.
Yeah.
You're a yoga instructor. I feel like incorporating your personality into your content allows people to be more attracted to you and to gravitate towards you. So when you pick your realtor, whether it's a friend, family, or because you trust them, you're attracted to them in some way.
Yeah.
So, and I talk about this in the Meraki experience is how are you going to attract your community? And for both of you, I feel like those are two qualities that you could incorporate. And then once people see your personality and, they see that you're the yogi realtor or the dancing realtor, then they gravitate towards you. And then,
What kind of
I know, right? That may spike something there. You never know, right? So with that being said, when you
our
create
bottom funnel, we're saying,
testimonials.
list with us. Like
Yeah,
click here to
testimonials.
find out
I
more,
listed
like,
my
yeah.
house with Amanda and it sold in a week. Or she was really great at marketing my house, easy to talk to, communicate great.
So our bottom funnels are testimonials, things that we've done
Exactly.
in the past, like all that.
And you two gave me great testimonials. That's my bottom of funnel ad.
Rob, what about like her collaborating with Philly yoga people or North Jersey yoga people?
Exactly.
And then those
Collaborating
people
is
will
huge.
be like, oh, there's a yoga instructor that's also a realtor. So when you make those connections, then you'll probably get people in North Jersey that are going down the shore to kind of know somebody that they're familiar with because of the interest of yoga or Zumba or
Yeah.
gym or
And you can merge the approach too, like kind of incorporating the LinkedIn vibe into it. So sometimes, like if people are liking a lot of your photos and videos and they're engaging, I'll reach out to them and ask them, hey, I'm a realtor and I'm always curious, like how do people pick their realtors? Or like, what are the things you look for? I'm out of curiosity, like to start the conversation. And I think for opting in, instead of saying, hey, I want to sell, I would be more so, I think it's more so relationship, like long-term relationship. So I would be trying to collect emails and giving away like free value of like knowing like the top places to visit or the top places to travel or new and upcoming places to move to. Like if they like you and they're like, yeah, I kind of want to know, then they opt in and now you have their email and now you can just slowly drip them throughout the months and say, hey, here's what's happening. You just want to constantly be on their mind because when they make that decision, it's a no-brainer. It's like, oh, well, this person's helped me so much and they haven't even helped. I haven't paid them anything. It's the reciprocity.
yeah, also like with the yoga too, maybe a retreat. Maybe you do a retreat to down the shore where you get other studios and say, we want to rent a house and then you can have a yoga, you could do a personal class on the beach. If you do that, then you're kind of reaching out to other studios and you're kind of like sister studios of one
And you're promoting your community, and that's the thing. You're a realtor in this area because you're passionate about the area, right? So that's really what you want to bring people to. And you want the people that are listing to know that you are talking to people and promoting the community and that they're coming to you. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where
Promoting the community gets almost like overwhelming and exhausting. Like
it does.
promoting like other businesses and things to do and places to go. It's like
And then they talk to you like, you said this was good and my meal was horrible. And you're
I
like,
mean, that could happen, but
Well, I think that's
and what's open, what's not open, like that's big here because people come in May and they're like, is anything
so an
open?
easy thing that I do is I go onto, the Herald, or I'll go onto At the Shore and I screenshot it, crop out whatever, and you post it to your story. So that's like a quick, or even news, breaking news. There's one, Casey Brent, I believe his name is. He posts news all the time, like the Ferris wheel, the boardwalk's up now. So if local news, like Shore Local News, I think is one outlet. There's a few different media outlets. Screenshot their news, post it to your story, and you become a resource for people.
yeah, even to like
Tag them.
yeah, creating even a Facebook group as well for like I like that, like a resource for things going on in the area, because you just want people to associate who you are, and like creating content about what's going on. You don't have to do that all the time. I would say most of the content should be about you and what you do in your life and how you're unique and how people would want to like you. And then once in a while, yeah. And then once in a while you post stuff about real estate and show off your credibility. And that could be longer videos, or maybe it's a live, because you still want people to always know that's what you do, but you don't want that to be why they know you. Because if someone's going to make it a split decision, hey, I'm going to sell my house, who should I choose? Are they going to choose the person that's always talking about the community, or the person that they love their cat videos? They're usually,
I know, right?
Videos probably win on that one.
yeah, so it's usually the person that they like more than they just got to make sure that they can trust the person they like.
So I have a quick hack though, if you're ever, struggling with content, is the screen recorder tool. Obviously, I think most of you have iPhones. We all could screen record our phones. If there's ever like a news, something that you want to share, screen record what they're saying and then crop it out and post it. You don't have to do anything. It's already done, but you're screen recording it and posting it, and you're tagging it, and you're making sure that you're giving them the credits and the content, and that's voila, done, quick. Not overwhelming, you're not overthinking. Somebody else is actually broadcasting and doing it for you. You're just screen recording it and then posting it. I mean, that's legal, right?
And you don't want to just, you don't want to just rely on the content either. Like, you still want to be reaching out to people, but it can also help along the way of networking. I always tell someone, follow me on Instagram. I don't hand out business cards. I say, follow me on Instagram. And then now they get to see my life, and then that just adds to the likelihood that they would go with me.
So we don't need 2 Instagram accounts for your personal life, your Instagram account.
Put those things together.
Ed Stulak is going to be your guy next for that.
Yeah.
You're going to make one.
Yeah. Yep.
You could change the one. So for me, for example, I changed my Mayraki Creative to Robin Sciarra, but my personal, which is all my data, kids, and everything, I changed that to Life of Robin Sciarra. So people still go there, and I'll filter stuff from my Robin Sciarra on there sometimes, and I get a lot of story views because it's people from college, and it's a different community than my Robin Sciarra handle. So I do tap into it once in a while. Yeah, I don't manage it all the time. I tap in once in a while just to get some, play. And I do get decent, because people know that that's my personal. So. Any questions?
I am a dietitian, so I do corporate wellness workshops. So I have kind of like, I feel like the dietitian with nutrition counseling is like marketing to consumers, getting them to know me, sharing health information. The corporate wellness workshops would be like more the LinkedIn presence and trying to make business connections. So I'm feeling very overwhelmed by those kind of 2 streams of my business and how to make that more simple. Does it have to be really 2 kind of different things I'm doing all the time as far as marketing, or is there any advice for?
I think the easiest way is just focus on one at a time. That's what I've been doing. Like I have different products. So I can do LinkedIn for my clients. I can do Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube and Google. And so if I just went out the gates, I launched this company not even a little over a year ago, I could have just started and tried to do all of them and advertise all of that of what we do. And we also do systems and CRMs and all these other things that people are like, what? It's just, and it's overwhelming for not only them, but yourself. And so I think what's really important is when you build a system, you want something that's predictable and repeatable. And so how can you first standardize that one of doing, I think the corporate one makes a lot of sense because I feel like that would be a really cool opportunity and there's, I think, bigger money in that. And if you land a deal, it's a good deal. I think getting that dialed in so that that process is no longer stressful to you. It's like driving a car. At first it's scary, but then you're used to driving. Once that's in place, still offer the other services, but really dial that in as soon as possible. And then once that's dialed in, then you start on the next project. If it's okay, now I got this handled, now I also want to handle this while I start to standardize the second product. And then when you have both of them standardized, now it's like, it's so much easier. I always think of doing it that way.
Niche is like huge now.
Yeah. And everyone has multiple products, so it's really dialing in your, yeah.
Niching is hard. Any other questions?
So to piggyback on that, let's say she's offering like dropping a product. How early do you want to build following, build anticipation for landing a product or a service? Do you want to create content before you can even offer any sales to people?
So just to understand the product, so the product already exists, it's already completed?
No.
Okay, so you don't have the product completed yet, but you're curious when you should start advertising it. So I usually like to advertise a product before it's even built and get sales for it. That way, when I start building it out, it's already a proven idea. And then from there, I usually launch a course when it's 40 to 60% complete, and I have already start having the first people that want to get in at a discount can already start taking the course. So that way I'm already bringing in money sooner than waiting for a course to be complete, because courses are never complete. They're never going to be 100%, not even 80%. I think 40 to 60% is a good start for launching the course as like you want to start with the pre-launch. So you want to get everyone excited in your audience, hey, we're getting this thing ready, we're getting this thing ready. You get on phone calls, you get some sales. When you drop the course, then your job is just to consistently update new content, which is fun, because now everyone in the community is like, oh, the next video is dropping Thursday, and everyone kind of follows along with the build out of it. And then when you launch it 100%, you have all these testimonials and case studies to where then you can offer that as the main sale and rank up the price. So now your price you really wanted is what you'll get right out of launch because you already have case studies of people having results with it.
So it's like a soft opening, basically.
Yeah.
But if it's, and you're speaking to courses, what if it's an actual physical product?
Well, what is the product?
Well, probably that's a different thing, but actually I was talking about a book. So
Oh, a book?
it answered testimonials and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Perfect.
What if it's jewelry?
Jewelry, I mean, the one client I have jewelry for, we make most of our money off sales. Like we already have the product, like the product's ready to go. We have a following of the personal brand. It just depends. Like
A drop, maybe you could.
yeah,
play.
I'm big into drops. That just always makes money every single time we have a drop of a discount or a fun event. Gives a reason for people to purchase that want to purchase. They just like to wait for when there's a good deal. But for getting a following, I mean, I don't focus primarily on e-commerce because I think it's a challenging selling products. Because with e-commerce, you just got to be so content heavy. You got to be so focused on creating content all the time to constantly be in people's face in different ways, different concepts of content. For generating leads and for more, businesses that are more focused on lead generation, you don't have to have such a strict content structure. You can create a few pieces of content, maybe one a week, and that works. Like we have a few clients where they create a batch of content and we use that content for 6 months and they just don't have to do anything because, like I said, a really good live video can just be replayed over and over and over and over and over and over, and you can make content have such longevity. But for e-commerce, when you're selling a product, from what I've seen, it's constant. It's a constant. Am I targeting the right people? Is the content working? Is it driving emotion? Is it making them want to purchase? Is it too complicated? Is it too slow? Landing page. There's so many more technical aspects that you're always wanting to be checking in on. But I don't think there's as big of a launch. You want to have the product ready to go. You want to be able to sell it.
There's a Facebook group, and I believe it's called Creative Facebook Ads, and I pay for it. It's $5.99, I believe, a month, and it's brilliant. You would love it. It's really good. They give you really good inspo. So if you guys aren't members, it's worth it just to pay $5.99 a month.
What's it called again, Robin?
I believe it's Creative Facebook Ads.
Like $5? Mm-hmm. $5.99. Oh,
Yeah. I have some really good inspo for you.
yeah. Oh.
It's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you find it?
I'm looking for it right now.
It's it's really good, really great inspo, and so worth it. So that's the other thing. Through that process, I realized that you can charge for a Facebook group also, and I believe she uses. I mean, really, there's in your questions, you don't get into the group until, within the questions, she says, follow this link to pay for PayPal, and then she sets up an auto PayPal each month, and it comes out. So within the link and the instructions, once you get into the PayPal, then you get added to the group. So that's an option too if you guys ever wanted to get into the whole Facebook paid group thing. So any other questions? No. Anyone? No, we're good. That's it. What else do you have to add? Anything?
Yeah.
The best ways to set up your funnel and programming of emails and things like that for, let's go with real estate.
Yeah, so I think
Real estate, I find it hard, there's Kajabi or whatever that
There's a
thing is
lot.
called, and there's a million
Marketplace.
different sites that you can use that use an automated, if somebody clicks this link, you can send them a follow-up email. But I'm having trouble finding one that's relative to real estate because most people are focused on courses, products, this, that, the other, and we're looking for just, humans to connect with, basically, to take out and show them properties, or humans to connect with so that we can list their property, not necessarily selling them a home online.
yeah. So the
What
question.
does your office use? Do they use Marketplace? Is there one standard? Because you work for.
Tim Crow.
Oh, okay, so they're more private, but you have, I'm sure, software that they offer, correct?
No.
No.
I mean, there's
I know with LNF we had Marketplace.
Marketplace.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I don't think that's.
Well, it has everything and it automates. So it is a sales. Usually the office, that's why I was asking, because if it's usually a
They use,
chain.
some people used to use Constant Contact, but they don't. They're old. They're all very old school. Your office is old school too. They don't.
Super old school.
They send out their newsletter, and there's nothing to back the newsletter up. You send out your newsletter, and somebody clicks on a rental link. I know that I can see who clicked it, but I need something to
Follow that up
tell them,
with you.
hey, did you want to rent that?
So
I don't know
yeah.
what program to use to figure it.
So the question is, how do I automate the back end for doing my real estate online, basically?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What program is out there that would be more specific to real estate than courses?
So this is the specific real estate flow that my friend does that does really, really well. And what he does is he goes on Facebook Marketplace where you can buy, sell stuff. And he just puts up all of his properties for $1, doesn't put really anything, no description, nothing. And then puts, if you want to learn more about this property, click the link. And it goes to a opt-in for a messenger bot. So Facebook has Facebook Messenger where people can message and ask you questions on your profile. Well, you can set it up to be automated. And so what he does is once people opt in to learn more about the property, then it takes them to Facebook and it asks them a few questions well, what kind of home are you looking for? This, or this? Or what are you looking to sell? This, or this? And it kind of drives them towards this flow where then they know what properties that person wants and they're tagged with that information. So now whenever a property comes out, he just blasts it to that Facebook message and say, hey, a property came across my desk that matches exactly what you're looking for. And that's the technique he's used.
That works High-end real estate, I mean, we're talking like typically real estate's here $1 million to $10 million.
His was for more like lower.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that offshore, and I like doing the offshore
Yeah.
smaller properties as well, but like ideally, we would rather sell the higher end stuff, more commission, less work.
I feel like it'd just be a lot of.
The no-brainer stuff.
I don't necessarily want to sell
Yeah, right.
$200,000 properties. I'd rather sell like
Yeah, of course.
$2, $3 million.
So the tool I really like is Pipedrive. It's a CRM to manage all your prospects. Yeah, and it's the easiest one I found for people just to get intuitively into, because we all use these tools, but then how often do we use them every day? And so Pipedrive is really great because it's kind of just a general tool for building relationships. It lets you easily track and log when things have happened with who. And it can easily notify you when you want to reach out to that person again. So I have a lot of people I talk to that maybe they're not ready today, but they're ready a month from now. So I'm able to just tag that in and reach out. I believe Zooms and phone calls are just amazing ways, even in person, to really get conversations going with people. And for me, if I could easily have a system where I could say, hey, let's book a quick 5-minute call, I kind of want to catch up. And you just do that all the time with all these people. Out of those conversations you have, I'm sure you could find so many little deals throughout all those phone calls of just catching up with people. And then the biggest stress is trying to remember to call them. So if you can put it in the system where I wake up at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever, I get all these notifications. It says, hey, these are the 3 people you're talking to today. I don't remember where I found them from. I have a little bit of information. Yep.
So I Top Producer. Do you use Top Producer?
We have used it, but I don't really love any of the systems that it has.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Pipedrive. It's so easy to use because it's easy to click. I can just see exactly that person. I'm like, okay, here's what I filled in about them. They do X, Y, Z. Awesome. So I get on the phone. I catch up. Hey, I know it's been a few months. What have you been up to these days? And I actually just talk about them. Yeah. And then that's it. And then 15 minutes. And I do a bunch of those. And I'll get people that have like, hey, Derek, I know it's been 6 months since we originally had that plan, but I'm ready to move forward. Let's start. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it comes out of nowhere. It's like, that's because I've been keeping up with them, all of them. I don't spend emails on newsletters. If I don't like it, I don't want to do it for other people. So I don't like to read newsletters, so I don't want the people that I talk to read newsletters.
You don't read my newsletter?
I don't even subscribe. I'm just kidding.
I think you opened it. I see that you opened it. We're going to talk about that.
I think it's still delete it.
So, and just to add upon that, for example, we had talked about how my LinkedIn, that's where I sell, and I connect with them on a connection call through my Acuity link. So they click on my calendar link, goes to...
It automates right to Pipedrive.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to fill in the information. She gets on a
have to
call,
fill in my lead.
she goes on Pipedrive.
Yeah. So from every connection call I book through it, he uses what's called Zapier, and it basically zaps all of these together. Mm-hmm. So from my calendar link, it pulls to my regular calendar and Zoom, and it goes right into Pipedrive. Their names, their information, their phone number, everything. I don't do any of it.
How do you prepare for the call?
I look at their Instagram 5 minutes before I'm scheduled.
So I think calls is a whole nother really interesting conversation, is I believe in the 2-call approach. So the first phone call should be about 10 to 15 minutes.
I struggle with that part.
And during that call, you're going to want to ask specific questions. And then if they are right fit, you lead them to the more in-depth call. So what do you ask them on that 10 to 15 minute call to make it quick, get to know what you need to know and not seem rude, is you ask a few specific questions. One is, like for me, like if I'm looking for someone that has an issue I'm trying to solve, so where are you currently at? What's your current situation with this, for marketing? Like, what's your current situation with marketing? I ask them that first. And I like to use situation because it immediately makes them want to think about what they're struggling with in a nice way. And so they talk about, well, I've been doing I've been posting content, but I haven't really seen many results. I don't even really know if it's working or not. I feel like I'm doing all these things, but they go on. And then I ask, okay, so that's where you're at right now. This next question, number 2, is where do you want to go? Like, what's the big picture? What's the vision? And that's where they can go on and on about, well, I want to be able to do, sell my product in different states. I want to travel more. I want to be able to automate it so I can have more one-on-one clients and still have money coming in on the clients that I do have. I want to just build the business, and they paint a picture of their vision of how they want to live life. Awesome. So I kind of know where you're at now, and I know where you want to go, what's missing? And so the third question is like, how can you define the gap? You really want to separate where they're at, where they want to go, and really let's talk about the gap. What's missing? Why are you here and not there? And ask them. And they usually can give, well, I don't really know how to do advertising on Facebook. I paid one person and they just destroyed my ad account. It didn't work well. And I'm not sure where to go. And someone mentioned I should talk to you, or based off, I don't know, I just liked what you had on your social media page. Maybe you can tell me. And so then the last question I ask before that is, okay, I can definitely answer that. But before that, I deal with people all the time, business owners, and those people that they stay there really into something and then they take 8 months to do it. Like, are you a now or later person? And so I ask that, and they just say, oh, I'm a now person. Yeah, I want to do it right now, ASAP. Like, awesome. And so that's it. Like, those are the 4 questions I ask.
And how serious are you about,
Yeah.
wanting to do this?
And then I say, hey, based off what you told me, like, this is what I've done day in and day out for all my clients. I help them get X, Y, or Z results. And I think you could be a really good fit for what I do, but I can't sell you on anything yet. I really got to understand what your situation is, and you understand my process. So that's where I kind of end the call and say, look, let's hop on another longer call where I can go more in depth about who I am, what I do, as well as we can break down what you're working on. Or for me, I use an exercise called a growth analysis where I map out their entire customer journey, I circle the problems, I prioritize them and charge them a price for it. So for that's my flow. But some people want to just ask them more questions, or maybe they have a presentation that kind of walk them through the stages of their course or their product. And that in-depth call is where you take all the information from that 15-minute call and throw it in there. So now they are like, oh, wow, you kind of know about me. It's like, you told me. But they forget because it's like another call. And so as I'm walking through the presentation, I'm like, this is really important because of X, Y, Z. And I know that's why they care about it, because that's what's most important to them in their vision. And that's pretty much the flow. And then for me, I like to prioritize what I recommend from that exercise, send them a proposal, meet with them to review the proposal, and then schedule the onboarding call that day.
And that's the flow.
And so Robin's similar, where she'll hop on a call, ask specific questions about what she focuses on, or what they're looking for, where they're going with content, and then her goal is to schedule them to the event, the experience. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, well, I know it's all confusing and you have all these ideas. Let's just get you in a place where we can start. And that experience is the first point to where then she can sell them on the one-on-ones where she can drive a ton of value long term.
Yeah. So for me, I've just from listening to my community and my followers, a lot of their situation that I found is social media overwhelm and how to organize themselves and how to be consistently present and profitable. So with that being said, my flow is, okay, we do the connection call 20 minutes. I've gotten better at making it.
It used to be an hour and a half.
It used to be an hour and a half every time I talk to someone. But 20 minutes, I've really gotten better. But from there, they either go in my Facebook group, or a lot of them sign up immediately to the Mayraki experience, at which point, that's my core value. And then I have my upgrade, which is my one-on-ones. And then also to grow upon that is something I'm working on also is a monthly membership, like a Mayraki Experience monthly membership, where that would be my passive income. So there's, that. But I'm in that development stage as well. Derek's helping me.
There we go.
So, but that's going to be my flow. So.